and I'm an organic food grower. I trained on a 12-acre farm doing horticultural studies, growing fruit and veg in Chingford, and then I trained to support other people to grow organic fruits and vegetables and organise voluntary work for growing projects in my local community. Presently, I've been running a business called Carol's Organic Kitchen, where I incorporate the foods, organic foods that I grow. I'm 100% organic vegan, I eat alkaline foods, and I'll talk a lot about that and about the nutritional value of the type of foods that I eat. Now, this diet that I'm going to talk about is largely a diet which is good for boosting the immune system, and the foods are anti-cancer foods. Now, how I got into growing is that, a little bit about my story, is that I have a daughter who suffered with mental breakdowns. This was caused by an acute stress reaction, which we found out was a chemical imbalance in the body. There was really no other solution than to possibly put her on antipsychotics, but I sought for something to help my daughter in terms of, you know, helping her to gain that chemical balance, because it was hitting the brain, causing her to have psychotic episodes. And at that time I was highly stressed. I was 3 dress sizes heavier. I had a very large internal cyst brought on by my diet and also stress and being overweight. So I started volunteering on this farm, and I had changed my diet completely. At that time we were vegetarian, and a lot of the foods I was eating were alkaline foods other than hybrid foods, which I'll explain. And when I had gone back to the hospital for a second scan, because I researched enough about inflammatory foods and acidic foods and foods that cause inflammation, I was able to veer heavily on the alkaline type foods, which reduces or prevents inflammation, and the cyst had disappeared, so I didn't have to undergo an operation. Now today, I can say for my daughter, who was suffering with mental health issues, her health is a lot better. She has not had another episode. It seems the chemical imbalance is in check, and also we cured her of a very bad bout of eczema which she had from child. So what I'm going to show you today are some of the foods that are incorporated in my diet, and I'll touch on what I mean by alkaline as well. Now, what we have are hybrid foods and alkaline foods. The hybrid foods are any type of fruit and vegetable that has been crossbred at some time of its life. Some of the foods that have been crossbred even go back centuries. So for instance, we have a lemon, which is a hybrid, and we have a lime, which is the original citric fruit. Now, the lime is a very powerful fruit in that it also alkalizes your water. It's very good for the digestive system. What I do is I have a glass of water with lime in the morning before I eat any type of foods, and that flushes through the system, and it also helps to boost your immune system. Another thing I also do is to juice with kale, and kale has more iron than meat and 5 times more calcium than milk. Now, I could incorporate it with very water-based vegetables like cucumber and celery. I could go into all those benefits, but combined, if you want to make notes, please do. But cucumber and celery have their own nutritional benefits, which also help to strengthen the immune system as well. And I add a touch of a knob of ginger and a quarter of lime to the juice, and that I drink every single morning. Now, that juice also helps you to not only build the immune system, it cleanses the gut system as well, and it helps purify the blood. I put in my juice something called moringa. I'm going to pass this around. You can open it up and take a look. This is a powder of a leaf from the oleifera tree, which is known as the miracle tree. You can find in Africa, and this leaf, reason why it's called a miracle tree, can be used as a multivitamin to, again, it's a very powerful immune system builder. You can have the, you can eat the seeds, you can have the, drink the leaf, you can have the dried leaves. All of it is very beneficial. The leaves, when they're crushed and drank, they go into the system a lot quicker, go into the blood a lot quicker, and I find this more potent. And I have a teaspoon every morning, either with a cup of herbal tea or in my green juice, and again at night or late in the afternoon. So 2 teaspoons just to maintain the right balance of vitamins. Now, it has more potassium than bananas, more vitamin C than citric acid fruits. If you look up the benefits of moringa, you'll be astonished to know that it has many nutrients, and it has been used in studies on malnutrition to children. And in a matter of 2 weeks, they found that the children were plumper, their eyes were brighter, and the skin was clearer. So if there's any good immune boosting type natural vitamin, and I will talk about natural and holistic remedies all the time, and organic, because that's basically what I incorporate in my diet and has helped me and my family to maintain good health. If you were treating a particular illness and you needed to really boost your immune system, you could be going through chemotherapy, you could be quite weak or fatigued, not knowing why you're feeling a bit tired. 4 teaspoons a day would be good to take at least from a minimum of 4 weeks, and then you'll see the benefits of how it actually helps to lift your vitality. It gives you a lot of energy, and it strengthens the immune system quite greatly. I just want to touch on some of these herbs right here in front of me as well. These, again, everything here is organic, and the reason I promote organic is because now, as you may already know, a lot of our foods are genetically modified, they're preserved with chemicals, and these are the type of things in our fruits and veg that cause a lot of inflammation and a lot of mucus. Now, I'm just going to touch on the herbs I have here, which are things like rosemary, mint, thyme, and we're also going to be doing some herbal infusions as well. After you've understood about the benefits of each one, you'll choose a herb to infuse by the end of this session. Now, thyme, when making a herbal infusions, to start with, you need a glass jar. It's always important to have a glass jar and boiled water, and steep for about 4 to 6 hours or overnight. A lot of the common infusions are things like sage, thyme, mint and ginger. Although ginger is known as a spice, it's also known as a herb. To decant, you would strain the herbs from the water and squeeze the herbs as well, just to get the last bit of the maximum benefit out of the herb. What I'm going to do as well, if you haven't caught all of this, I'm going to send Roxana the link to this video so that you can go over some of the things that I've already spoken about, so you don't have to write down every single thing. But if you want something immediate you want to write down, please do. So thyme, as you know, which is this herb, and I've washed and rebagged these. They're all, just pass it around. The benefit of thyme is good for treating things like colds, flu and sore throats, irritating coughs, so you can drink the infusion. It's good for tonsils when you have a sore throat as well, and bronchitis. And it aids digestion and prevents bronchial spasms like asthma. And I quickly learnt that when I had a doctor's appointment one morning, and I was really suffering overnight. I was really gasping. I didn't have an inhaler. I rarely suffer from asthma, so I didn't have an inhaler to hand, so I took it for granted that I wouldn't really need one much. And I got up in the middle of the night, because I understood about time, helping to ease the spasms for asthma. And I boiled my thyme. This is a quick way of infusing a herb. If you don't have time to infuse it in water for 4 to 6 hours overnight, you can boil it and drink it, hot or cold. You can store it in the fridge as well. So I drank this, and within minutes, the spasms had eased. I was able to breathe more clearly, and I had a very good night's rest. And I can also say that I use it whenever I have maybe a little oncoming tightness of the chest, because I might be in contact with someone who's smoking or aerosols. That tends to trigger me. I just drink thyme water up to maybe 2-3 times a day, and that actually arrests it before it gets worse.
So arrests
the oncoming, the lungs, so they don't get any tighter, because it starts, the lungs start to close, and as soon as I have some of the thyme tea, I find it relieves me straight away, so I'm not getting to that tight, very uncomfortable stage that asthma brings you to. Now, coughs can be soothed while any congestion is moved from the body. This is thyme again, as I'm mentioning, and mucus will be thinner and easier to cough up when you take thyme. It also has antibacterial properties which kill off bacteria inside and outside the body. So in one of my workshops, I had a lady who had a biopsy, and the skin was a little inflamed and sore, and it was a little bit yellow as well, and had some leakage. And I told her to use thyme and dab it on the area, and soon the skin became healed. It was smooth, and there was no leakage. And also, just by understanding about thyme, I now use it as a cleanser. So, and it takes off eye makeup as well, which is wonderful. Even waterproof eye makeup, which is astonishing. Waterproof eye mascara, you can take that.
Just by boiling it up?
Just by boiling it up. You can, boil it, let it sit in the pan for a while, strain it, and I put it into a glass jar, a bottle, and I have it in my bathroom for cosmetic use. And I take off any mascara that I might have, or just to cleanse the face, because it's antibacterial outside and inside as well. You can drink it, you can use it externally. It can be made to use into a strong tea, and also disinfect skin and even surfaces, much like tea tree. I've used a little bit of tea tree, 5 parts of water, and it cleans all your surfaces, and it gives your home a beautiful smell. You're not exposed to strong toxins which cause respiratory problems. So finding those type of herbal alternatives are good as well. It's also an immune boosting, has an immune boosting effect on the body, and the numerous antioxidants that thyme contains helps your body to maintain optimal health and fitness. It's also high in iron. Regular use of the herb can prevent anemia and other blood disorders. So if you find that you're very lethargic, drink thyme. And you can drink up to, say, maybe a litre a day, and you can make it in the morning and take it to work. So it can substitute as your water intake as well. So if you're used to drinking lots of water, incorporate herbal infusions as well. Now I'm going to talk about sage, although I don't have sage here today.
Just about incorporating it. So, say you're drinking water, would you just put a teaspoon of the boiled thyme into your...
No, you drink the pure, infused thyme water. Yeah.
And how long would you infuse it for?
And how long would you infuse it for? Just when you 4 to 6 hours. But if you were to boil it, it's quicker. So if you haven't got time, you can boil it, and it will turn pretty soon. It will start to boil up and form a very, very dark in colour. Then you can just leave it to cool and then put it in your glass bottle and go. But if you boil, obviously a little bit of the nutrients will go out of the herb. But if you're stuck for time, it's still fine. You can still drink it and get the benefits of it.
Yeah, will it also help with digestion to process if we eat other things?
Well, the best thing for that is a fennel, really, for digestion.
Fennel, right.
Yeah,
So
fennel, mint and peppermint
are
the best. But I've got mint, we were talking about mint as well.
Yes, so with mint, because that would be, I think that probably, though I wouldn't want to use this as a drink personally. I mean, it's got a nice...
You know what, it has a very mild flavour.
Does it?
Yeah, we're going to review some of these.
Oh, okay.
And you can test it for yourself. It hasn't got a bitter taste at all. It's very smooth. It's very light, and it's just as refreshing as drinking water. So you don't really get a kind of green, sharp taste from it at all.
But could you also combine it with another?
Yes, you can. I mean,
two in one.
Yeah, you can. I've had workshops like these where people have then taken in the information and then thought, oh, I could infuse this with this to get this result. So once I've gone through the benefits of each one, you can then probably decide on which ones you might want to infuse together or separately. Now sage, this is sage here, you've all probably heard of sage and know about sage. It's quite a strong flavour, it can be used in soups. While the health benefits are not widely known, it can be used for many things, like as an alternative medicine.
It's good for menopause.
Is it? That's
yes.
Okay.
What is it?
Sage. Sage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It mimics the hormone. It mimics the hormone, you know.
Oh, okay.
The hormone.
Good.
So that you don't get the menopausal symptoms.
So it's like a replacement.
Flushes.
It is. And it works.
Oh, good. So you learn different things all the time. Very good.
That's very good.
Yeah. So it's extremely important to note that although you shouldn't go, it's very good for helping with diabetics as well. But it's important to know not to go without your insulin. But sage herb supplements have been known to manage diabetic disorders, and if it's combined with a healthy diet, it's also known to even totally eliminate the need for insulin in some cases, I'd say. Or if considering sage for any diabetic illness, consult your doctor, but take it alongside your medication. So you may find you may need less of it over time. It all depends on which case.
Sorry, when you say take it, do you mean...
So you infuse it and drink it, yeah. It can also cleanse the bloodstream and clear up blood clots. It improves the entire circulatory system. So just understanding that fact, you could, when you do exercise, and you're supposed to drink water after exercise, have sage. And what it does is it helps to regulate the blood flow so you don't end up with blood clots. Because I was told by a trainer to take aspirin after working out in the gym. They're not really supposed to actually recommend things like that. But aspirin thins the blood, but then that causes a whole host of other problems. So something like sage is a natural substitute to take.
In olden days, they used to burn sage to keep the devil away.
Some people still do it.
But because of antibacterial and antiseptic properties, because when you burn sage, it just clears the atmosphere of any bacteria.
Yeah.
That was the reason.
Some people actually do still buy and burn sage. I do the same.
Yeah.
I burn it in dried sage.
I
Yeah.
like the smell. Yeah.
It clears the air. It's very cleansing. So one of the things that I learned about sage as well is that it's very good for clearing terrible sore throats. And I used it as part of a homemade antibiotic that I just created. So by learning about the benefits of different herbs, I blended turmeric. So please look up the benefits of turmeric, with infused sage water, some lime, which enhances the potency of the turmeric benefits. And my daughter came home one evening from college, very feverish, with she said her throat felt like, you know, glass, cutting glass. She had a headache and was feeling a bit weak with a slight fever. She'd been in contact with somebody who had tonsillitis. So it was too late to make an appointment at the doctor. We couldn't get an appointment. And I mixed this concoction, knowing about the benefits of each one. And by Monday, she was right as rain, no antibiotics. I went back to college, fully recovered. Also now, I'm going to talk about mint. Now, mint is a great relaxant. It also relieves congestion and unblocks your nose, as you probably know about mint already. It's also a very cooling herb and causes your body to slightly lower its temperature. So, as Roxana was saying about the menopause, it's good to drink to eliminate those hot flushes as well. It's also good, you can use it in summery cordial drinks, like, you know, people use it for pins. I don't drink alcohol, but you can make, you know, non-alcoholic cooling drinks. And people find that consuming mint produces positive relief, again, for asthma symptoms. So if you don't like the time, and you can use the mint, which is probably a little bit more refreshing and a lot tastier. Another good remedy concerning mint is that it's good for dental hygiene. Inflamed gums, if you have bleeding gums, you just rinse with pure mint. Drink mint tea even, just rather than buying the bags. You'll find that a lot of stores, when you order, if it's a good calf, you'll get fresh mint herbs, and they're quite strong, and you just drink them. It's very good for strengthening gums, good for dental hygiene. And it freshens up the breath as well. And one of the interesting nutritional benefits is that this herb, also like sage, helps with things like gas. So if you get a very rumbly tummy or flatulence, it's very good for eliminating gas as well. It eases the digestive system, just like fennel does. In fact, I've got a fennel tea, which I'll normally drink after I've eaten. So, understanding about the different benefits of herbs, you can then use them whilst you're eating, drinking. So you know this is good for digestive problems. If you have stomach upsets as well, you can use it as a remedy for a stomach upset. So they taste delicious, and they look, you know, quite nice, but they have very good benefits which you can use as natural remedies for minor ailments. Now, rosemary helps you to relax. Take some sprigs of rosemary. I'm sure you all know what rosemary smells like, but if you take a sprig or two, just pass that round. It's got a lovely, such a nice kind of piney, minty sort of smell. And just have a waft of those. Take one each and keep that, and you can keep smelling it every so often. It's lovely. It has a very potent smell, but it's an antioxidant. It's also an antiseptic, and it's also anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory. So when I talk about anti-inflammatory foods, these are foods that actually we, as women, we may get fibroids or cysts, or even, you know, inflammation in the body, in the breast even. Drinking something like rosemary helps to keep the body in balance and eliminate any inflammation in the body. It also has disinfectant properties, and one of the best things about rosemary is it boosts memory. So if you're having memory problems, drink it, just boil it, or put it, just sort of slightly bruise it and put it in a cup of hot water and drink it. It's actually a lovely, pleasant and refreshing tea. And also it alleviates headaches, and it has been known to, if you infuse it in oil, it has been known to eliminate greys, strengthen hair growth, and you'll feel a sort of slight tingling sensation, and it also thickens hair as well. You'll find you're getting thinning hair. And if you use it two times a week, you'll see the results of hair stimulation, growth, thickness, elimination of grays. So, if you were to make 2 cups of rosemary tea and soak it in a cloth and place it on an infected area on your body for about 10 to 15 minutes, if you say twice a day, it helps to relieve muscle soreness. So rosemary has a whole host of benefits, and I'm only just telling you a few of some of these benefits of the herbs that I've got here today. Now, ginger is known as a spice, but it's also known as a herb, and it's got calming properties that can help reduce stress and tension due to the strong aroma, and it has healing properties. As you know, if you have a sore throat, you'll go straight to ginger because it relieves a sore throat. But with ginger tea with honey is good for relieving colds on its own, and good for stomach pain or cramps as well. Amino acids in ginger can help restore blood circulation, decreasing the change in cardiovascular problems as well. And it can even prevent fat from depositing in the arteries. The ginger tea is very good. And I again, as I say, I buy organic. You can grate it and then or just sort of, crush it a bit and put it in your tea, and in boiling water. It also is another one for improving digestion as well, because it increases the absorption of food and relieves bloating after eating too much. And that's much the same as lime as well. That has the same effect. It also clears sinuses as well if you have a cold. If you're looking for relief without going over the counter for a drug, use ginger first. And it acts as a natural pain reliever from pain if you're suffering from headaches or stomach pain or muscle soreness. And it's also known to relieve other pains like sore feet. So you can infuse it in a bowl of water and let the water cool first, obviously, after boiling the water, and it's very good for stimulating the feet. So it helps also to get the blood flowing, giving you feeling of more energy. But you imagine when you're tired, say after a long day at work, and you're having a ginger tea, that smell from the ginger, it just gives you that extra boost. And it prevents the feelings of sluggishness and fatigue. And you can also get it in, I don't know if I've got the oil here today, ginger oil, but when you actually if you drop a few drops in your hand and you rub it together and smell it, that gives that same sort of, it relieves energy. So at work, if you're feeling tired behind a PC all day, just rub it in, breathe it in, and it actually boosts your energy, stops you from feeling tired. So if you'd like to choose a herb from the table that you might like to infuse out of what I've got some sage here, but it's just slightly old, but it's still okay, it's organic, I've washed it. It's going slightly brown, but it's still good for infusion if you want to use sage. But I've got here rosemary, mint and thyme. So if you want to choose one of these, what we're going to do is infuse it in one of these glass jars with hot water.
Ginger.
Knows anyone that suffers from asthma, perhaps thyme would be a good thing, and mint. So you can even
fever. Sorry.
Lavender. Lavender's good, and I've got some lavender oil, so you can take some lavender oil.
Yeah, can I ask you anything for arthritis you would recommend?
For arthritis, good things for would be things like these type of foods.
Avocado?
Yeah, avocado, they're very good. Things like okra, has anyone heard of okra? Lady's fingers, as you know. They're very good for sort of lubrication of the joints. And another thing, Margaret, is eucalyptus as well, rubbing it onto the joints. I've got some eucalyptus oil there as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And with that, do you need to put another base oil in?
You can mix it with olive oil. You can put a few drops in your hand, straight, and just rub it straight onto the area.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can make a sort of, a bigger jar mix it with olive oil for longer lasting, and use it on the joints all the time. Yeah, because obviously you're not going to get a lot out of a small jar, but you can mix it with it. And I always buy, and I found it, believe it or not, in Morrison's, organic, extra virgin olive oil. So organic is always better because it hasn't been genetically modified in any way. It won't have any synthetic properties. This is just the brand you can get in it. It's the Filippo Fiero.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Which is hemp oil. Hemp is very, and you can get them in a seed as well. Hemp is very rich in iron and protein. So this was £6 for a bottle, but what I did was make a salad dressing out of this. And so and I don't have to use a lot of it, and I have a bigger bottle than this that I made the salad from that much oil. So I've got a huge bottle with hemp oil mixed with a bit of olive oil, and then again, as I said, a bit of lime and mixed herbs. And that's given me lots of protein and lots of iron. And the hemp seeds, you can pass that around as well, have a look at hemp seeds. This is excellent as well for putting it on salads, or you can just have it as a snack. If you toss it over the salads, it just gives that nice little nutty taste to your salads as well. It doesn't act like a nut, so if you have a nut allergy, you don't have to worry about this. And it's a good source of protein and fibre. But you can taste them if you want to, and just feel the texture of them. They're very light, almost like puffs actually, which is quite good. For cooking, I'm going to tell you my basic go-tos are Himalayan salt, pink Himalayan salt, and cayenne pepper. Now, Himalayan salt has over 105 minerals. The conventional table salts that are white are refined. It's a refined salt. It's higher in sodium, and it was originally used for putting on butchers' floors to soak up blood and for curing meat. So, it's not that type of salt is very bad for the arteries. And as you know, it makes you very, very thirsty. So imagine it just dries up the body. It's awful. But Himalayan salt is good for the body, with the amount of minerals that it has. And it's a lot saltier than conventional salt. So you only have to you use less of it, but you get maximum benefit from it with all the minerals.
What's that? Sea salt or rock?
Yeah.
It's a rock salt.
It's a rock salt, but you can have the white sea salt and rock salt. That's fine as well, but it won't have as many minerals as the pink Himalayan salt. And it's found further up into the Himalayan mountains where it's mined.
Can you use for cooking?
Cooking, I use it in my cooking all the time. This is what I use to, season. You put in rice and vegetables in the water when you're cooking. And another thing I'm going to touch on the hybrid for pepper. Black pepper irritates the gut. It's an irritant to the system, and I no longer use ground black pepper. And instead I use cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is a very, very tasty pepper. Use a lot less of it. It's good for the system, and it's anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. It has a lot of nutrients, and I would encourage you to look at the benefits of cayenne pepper as well. If I'm making soups, I use sage, and I also use. Does anyone ever use clove? Clove. I put about 2 or 3 sprigs of clove in my soup.
Yeah.
You can pass that around as well. Have a smell of that. It's actually also a relief for pain. Clove is. Clove relieves pain, especially dental pain. For people with sweet tooths, if you're looking to try and cut, I never have any refined sugars. I don't even buy processed foods, and I don't eat things like chocolate. However, I do buy something called cacao powder, which is a raw form of chocolate. Cocoa powder is refined from cacao. Cacao is the original. And you can even make your own chocolate with that. You can drink it as a hot chocolate drink. I even make ice cream with that. I make vegan ice cream and I add this to it. I put it in smoothies as, also. And my daughter uses it to make, put in her smoothies. She makes shakes with it as well. We do a number of things with it. It's very high in antioxidants, cacao powder. So if you have a sweet tooth and you want that chocolatey taste, cacao is a good alternative. Another thing are figs. They're very tasty, very sweet. And I've actually made a recipe making my own sweets, and one of them is with fig. I blend up the fig to a fine paste. It's very sticky, so you can roll it into a ball. And then I would roll it in this. This is called lucuma. It's from Persia, and it's an immune. It gives you energy, vitality, and it boosts your immune system as well. And this isn't too expensive. This is about £5, but you use very little of it. You can add it in your smoothies. You can, and like I said, I roll my fig ball in that powder, and I'll have it as a sweet.
Wow.
And then I could also roll my fig ball in a little bit of agave syrup, which is tastes a lot like honey, but it comes from a cactus plant, so it's not a refined sugar. And then I'll maybe even roll it in desiccated coconut. I'll have that as a sweet, and you can put that in your teas, drinks as well. I don't drink tea and coffee, I drink herbal teas. Coffee is quite acidic for the system and it causes inflammations. Dates are a very good alternative to sweetening smoothies as well. You can put dates in your smoothies. And again, you can make sweets with it, blend it up, roll it in desiccated coconut, roll it in your lucuma, which tastes, by the way, of butterscotch. Tastes like butterscotch. It's an actual fruit. If you read the back, it will tell you a little bit more detail about that fruit.
So that's fruit, isn't it?
It's a fruit. It's a dried fruit. Yes, yeah. Mixed vine fruits, they're dried. Again, if you want something as a sweet alternative, and you can have that with a breakfast, which is buckwheat. Now, buckwheat, for people suffering from intolerances of wheat or gluten, buckwheat is a great alternative cereal. You can boil that with your nut milks, coconut milk, as you know, is a superfood as well, and it's anti-cancer, coconut milk. Have that as a porridge. Then you can sprinkle on your porridge, for that sweetness, desiccated coconut over the top of it, and top it with your vine fruits. These are the type of fruits you would use in a fruit cake. And I've got the organic version of those, yeah.
Is the buckwheat gluten-free?
It's gluten-free, wheat-free as well. So anyone who's got intolerances, that's a very good one.
Confusing, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have wheat in it.
Doesn't have it. Yeah, it says wheat, but it's not a wheat. It's made from a different type of wheat, but not the conventional wheats that we have. And I must say as well that wheat is a hybrid. That's why we have so many intolerances. This is an original grain that hasn't been crossbred with anything. Yeah. So you're not going to get the reaction you get from eating wheat if you have an intolerance. It's conventional wheat-free, and it's also gluten-free, and it's very filling. And that recipe that I just gave you, it's also have as a pudding. So children, for instance, who hate porridge and they don't want porridge, you can offer it as a pudding, a warm pudding or even a cold pudding. Do it exactly the same way as I said, like a porridge with your milk. I don't use cow's milk. Cow's milk is not for us as humans. cows will produce milk for their child, and the child is grown, they stop drinking it. We are the only people that continue to drink milk, breast milk of an animal, and continue to drink it. It's not good for us, and that's what causes a lot of inflammations. It causes a lot of mucus in the system. A lot of asthma allergies are linked to dairy, which cause your coughing. There's mucus there, and that is caused by the type of foods that we're eating. If you ever have a meal and you're in a restaurant, listen to people coughing afterwards, and you hear that phlegm coming up, because some of the foods are mucus forming.
When you say vine fruit, what's the difference between vine fruit?
So it's a mixture of sultana, raisins, orange peel, yeah. And that's, it might have orange peel in it, but not from the vine, but it's sultana and raisins, yeah. Now, has anyone heard of spelt? I bake a lot of that. I wanted to give you a full pack, but I love it so much. Spelt is an original African grain, and it's got less starch than most wheats. It's not. It looks like a wheat shaft, but it's called spelt, and it's milled, and you can have it in pasta form, which is what I use lasagna strips even. This is the whole wheat one. You can get it in white.
That must be probably quite expensive, the stuff.
That was possibly £3.
Oh.
Yeah, £3.
Can I just ask you, with all these different products, can we actually take down how much these cost, and then we can sort of, because what tends to be the case, it tends to be more expensive than ordinary mainstream foods, isn't it?
Yeah. What I can do is,
They are expensive, aren't they, generally?
they are more expensive than your conventional foods. And I will email, if you want that information, I'll email that to Roxana and she can pass that on to you.
Okay.
But what I will say is, I do vegan cooking workshops, and if I came back again, I could show you how to budget on an organic diet. Because when my daughter became ill and I had to quit my job in the city, I had no income. I had to survive on very little. And that the government would give me whilst I was caring for my daughter. And when I was looking for a cure to help her get through this this episode, the episode she was having, we went on an organic diet, and I did that on benefit because I couldn't work. I managed to budget on it, and it's my 2 children and myself. And so if I can do it, anyone can do it, definitely. And I learned to budget because I learned how to cook the foods in a way that I can reuse things and make different dishes out of even just, for instance, quinoa, which is a grain as well. I can make with quinoa tasty vegan burgers, vegan balls as an alternative to meatballs with spaghetti. I can make a rice with it. You can have it as a type of couscous as well. There are many things you can do with it, and you can freeze it as well. So that whole box, I would probably use half a box for 3 of us, and there'd still be more left. So there are ways of budgeting, and I have many recipes. I'm going to give you one of these actually. If you just pass one down. I reach out to people from food. So although I cook, it's not just about being a cook and cooking delicious meals. I cook with nutrition in mind, and I run workshops which teach you how to use these type of foods but work with them on a budget as well, whilst creating nutritional and delicious meals. Have a look at the gallery on carolsorganickitchen.com and just take a look at some of the dishes there as well. It doesn't have to be bland and basic, and you get the most out of it. Now, as you know, this coconut oil can be quite expensive. I bought this coconut oil for, I think, £11. That's lasted me very well. And as I say, I don't use coconut oil as a oil to use as a heat oil. I'll use an oil like grape seed oil for deep frying. I don't deep fry, but for heating oils. And I use this as a cold pressed oil. And what I get the most out of this if I'm cooking, I'll cook in the grapeseed oil, and I may then add a teaspoon of coconut oil into my meal as well, if I'm doing a curry. And just that is enough. You don't have to cook everything in coconut oil to get the benefit of it. I also make my own body butters, my own hair creams, my own facial creams with coconut oil and shea butter and essence oil, depending on what essence oil I want to treat certain things or make deodorants with. So I'll use for deodorants things like eucalyptus, mint, lemongrass, lime, for lavender for the skin, the face. So I get a lot of it, and I blend it up with a hand blender, and it produces a great volume with shea butter and essence oil.
But it's also very good moisturiser for the skin. You've got very dry skin if you put.
Just on its own. Yeah, this is a raw organic cold press coconut. My daughter uses that on her when she had eczema. She no longer has eczema. She had very dark patches, very dark neck, very, very angry, dry skin. Coconut oil helped, and it's eliminated it.
Yeah. Could you explain to the group about the that it's unsafe to use antiperspirant because it's unnatural? There's nothing wrong with obviously not wanting the smell of body odour, but antiperspirant, if you actually stop the body.
It's fine. That's what it's called, an antiperspirant.
Yes, the thing
so
about that.
So it's all right to use in deodorant, but antiperspirant is actually very bad, and because it's near the breast,
what you're doing, exactly.
it can cause a reaction in the body because it gives the body a shock, and it doesn't allow the body to naturally perspire, which is something that always happens from
60% of what we put on our body actually is absorbed into the skin. So it's important if you're to get the benefit of nutrients is to use natural oils and butters because your body's going to absorb it. I make a deodorant with coconut oil, shea butter, and like I say, one of the essence oils I mentioned, it could be tea tree, mint, lemongrass, eucalyptus, and it can be put in the fridge and used as a hard form which you can roll on, or you could even just use it as a cream and use it on your armpits. And your skin breathes properly. There is no odour because coconut is antibacterial as well. So it's as simple as using just even coconut oil if you wanted to. It doesn't actually absorb into the skin. It doesn't leave a grease on your clothing, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's what I've used for probably a year now. So it's a very good alternative to using sprays. Of course, sprays cause respiratory problems, you're breathing in toxins. 60% of what's going into your skin is right near the lymph nodes where the breast is. It can cause inflammations, it can cause cancers as well.
That's what I was thinking, because I read an article, I don't know where it was, which said that many factors trigger things like, I mean, I'm not saying that somebody wouldn't get breast cancer, you're not allowed to say that, because alternative people aren't allowed to actually make statements like, this will prevent you.
No, it will help to eliminate that.
Because you need to allow your body to naturally breathe, naturally perspire, and without wanting to sort of smell your own odour or other people just smell it. You want to obviously cover that up with deodorant, but not to actually stop the process happening in the first place.
Which is unnatural, isn't it?
It's a bit like saying
to breathe as well. So
it's a bit like crying. It's a natural part of healing. It's a self-healing in the body.
It also releases toxins as well. Actually, if you cry, you relieve a lot. You actually expel a lot of stress, which is in the body. Expel it out.
And it's a natural part of healing, post-bereavement, or so actually to stop it actually will probably give you ulcers and all sorts of related stress-related illnesses.
Definitely.
Psychosomatic.
Yeah, definitely. That's very true. It's important to research these things as well. I'm just going to quickly touch on a few more things here, and then we're going to talk about stress relief. So I have here a bottle of water and it has a pH balance which it tells me of 8. Now anything that has a pH balance of 7 and over is alkaline, and the lower it is, the more acidic it is. Always look at the pH balances on your water. Evian is one of the most purest types of water you can buy. But I found this cheap bottle of water in the pound shop, and you can get them in packs, and it's got pH balance of 8.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Keep the bottle, always keep the bottle. Yeah, that's it.
What's the pound for that size? That's
A
ridiculous.
pack of them, yeah.
No, a pack of them.
Pack of 6. Another way of alkalising your water is, and I'm going to give you these stones to look at. They look like little piece of carbon.
Oh, wow.
They're called shungite stones. They are mined from Russia. You put them in a glass jar or glass cup, maybe one in a glass cup, half an hour, it will alkalise your water. You'll have no taste of tap water, there'll be no taint, it will be clear and fresh, and it also grounds you, so if you're around any electrical items, like for instance I've had that there, it's protecting me from any sort of electrical influence at all. They say that its original source may have come from a meteorite that exploded. So you can have a look at taking that around. It's called shungite, S-H-U-N-G-I-T-E. And I have a 6-litre glass water dispenser at home. And I put all my stones in there. And all I ever do is just top it up with tap water. And I've got alkaline water all day, every day. I have an alkaline shower head as well. You can look on the Hampstead, alkaline shower head. The water is soft and it also energises you as well.
You say that protects against electrical,
Yeah.
if you're surrounded by PCs.
PCs, phones. You can even get phone cases with shungite in it, but they can be quite expensive. But I think eventually I'm going to do it because sometimes I've been on the phone and I can feel the heat from the phone. That is when it gets it can be quite dangerous. And we sleep next to our phones as well, so we've got that radiation. So then I bought them from a small health food store locally in Shepherd's Bush called the Ant Wellbeing Centre, and their address is on here at the bottom. But if you Google shungite and look them up, be careful when you're getting them online anyway. Maybe you may be able to find these in African herbal centres. Maybe Google African Herbal Centre by shungite.
Can I just ask you, Carol?
Then they cost me £10.
For a small...
Oh wow! And you only need
one at a time.
You only need one in a glass.
One in a glass.
2 for a litre, maybe.
You can put them in your bottle.
Yeah.
So if you have a jug of water like this, you just
Put it in there.
plonk one in it.
Put 1 in there, put 2 in there.
Can you recycle? Can you use them again? Or is
Yeah, they last, they're stones.
outside
You know they finished on that.
Well, put it this way, somebody I know has had them about 11 months and they're still alkalising her water. And I used to buy the Brita filter for my jug, and you still taste the tap water, you still smell a little bit of it, it's not so fresh, and you're renewing them at like £6 a filter every month. So I bought these stones, they cost me £10, and they're absolutely brilliant. It makes the water just taste clean, fresh and clear. And they've actually got healing properties. So it's very good for your system as well. And I use it to wash my face. It's soft water. It's very soft.
Well, you use it, you put it in you actually use the water.
I use the water to wash my face with it, yeah.
Mm.
So I have
one of these
a glass jar.
We use it.
Sorry?
We use it.
You use it,
last
yeah.
for ages.
So you don't need a whole...
Stones.
You don't really need a whole lot.
No, you don't need a whole lot. No. Put 2 in a litre. Put 2 for a litre.
And you just reuse them every day.
We use them every day, yeah.
Oh.
But I just threw all of mine into a 6-litre water dispenser bottle at home. Water dispenser thing. So I just use it that way. Yeah. Put them in the bath. Yeah, exactly. I've got a shungite shower head. So I can, yeah. And you can put Himalayan salt in your bath, lavender in with your bath, all types of oils. It's very good because your body's absorbing all of that as well. So it's another way of getting the goodness into your system. Bay leaves, that's another herb which you can put in soups. I have bay leaves as a drink with tea. Herbal tea.
We are fresh in the garden.
You have them fresh in the garden. There you are. Just boil them. Use them in soups. Very nice in soups. My staples for herbs are sage, bay leaf, and thyme in my soups, and the clove. So that you're getting lots and lots of nutrients as well.
And what does bay leaf? What do bay leaves do?
Well, bay leaf herb is good for the gut tract system. It's good for minor ailments like colds as well. You can use it as a medicine to drink. It's cleansing. That's just one or two that I can remember off the top of my head. But if you go and Google about bay leaf, you'll find it's also alkalising as well. All herbs are alkalising, by the way. So when you're putting them in your soups, you're using boiled tap water, but when you put your herbs in, it alkalises your food. So which is good because it purifies the system, it boosts the immune system, keeps you strong and healthy.
Has anybody heard of Irish sea moss?
Irish sea moss is a dulse or seaweed, if you like. Now, back in ancient times, when there was some sort of famine in Ireland, people were eating the moss on the stones. What they didn't, because they were so hungry, but what they didn't know was it contained everything that the body needed. And so research has been showing that by using, you can boil this and you can soak it, then throw off some of the water and soak it again because you need to wash it out. And you can use it, it comes out as very kind of gloopy, but what you can do with it is put it in things like smoothies and drink it, and it's got loads and loads of minerals. We look up the benefits of that, and that's good for putting in soups as well.
Is it actually from Ireland?
Sea moss, yeah.
Actually from Ireland.
Rye and spelt flour. This is rye bread, crackers. Spelt again, which is lower in starch than conventional flours. Rye, which is good for your fibre, gluten-free, wheat-free. You can have it as breads as well. And that is a good snack. I have my rye with a bit of avocado, which is a healthy fat. Don't be afraid of these. You can eat one of these a day. You're not going to get fat. With a pinch of Himalayan salt, maybe even just a pinch of cane pepper, because I like that cane pepper, and some cress on top. Drizzle it with a bit of almond oil, and that's my lunch. So I've got my omega-3s, my healthy fats, my rye bread, which is high fibre as well. Great lunch alternative, quick and
Do you
easy.
use Ribena? Because there's so many.
Ribena is the same, it's the same thing, it's 100% rye. So you can get them in a pack for £1, I think, for packs of Ribena.
Yeah.
So just, when you understand, I have charts of foods as well. And again, I will show you the hybrids and the alternatives, which are the non-hybrids, which are alkalising, less acidic forming, less starches, which cause mucus in the system and attack the cells, type of foods. And I'll send that to Roxana as well.
Can I just ask you? I've heard about quinoa and I started using it. When I saw a documentary, which I don't think the research was very brilliant. You know, they have this kind of these ones kind of first kind of those kind of documentaries, and then they take a few people, a few very healthy people, and then they kind of do before and after and test blood levels and so on. And I think they tested quinoa against couscous. I'm not sure. I think it was that, and it didn't really show that much difference. So they were saying that you don't have to get quinoa. Quinoa, sorry.
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
You don't have to get quinoa.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's an interesting point you're making that, so you're saying quinoa is very pure, not hybrid. What about couscous? Is that hybrid?
Couscous is drum wheat and semolina wheat, has a lot of starches, but if you buy the spelt version, that's going to be a lot less starch for you and a lot better for you. There's also kamut.
The problem with quinoa is it's quite hard to get, and I looked in budgets. So the place I saw it properly.
Go to your Whole Food store.
Whole Food store,
Yeah.
okay. Is it
Whole
cheaper
Foods, Holland and Barrett, but I always stick to organic.
But it was very expensive in budgets, and I just thought, well, you know.
Yeah, it's, you know what, I buy a tricolour, which is the red, the white and the brown quinoa. I buy a kilo of it, and I use it in a lot of my meals in my Carol's Organic Kitchen range of recipes. And it cost me £5.95 for a kilo.
Oh.
However, I get loads out of it. But like I say, it's very easy to cook because you simply boil it and you add your salt to it, just as if you were doing potato. But then what you can create out of it are a number of different dishes from quinoa, and it expands, so there's a lot of it. You only need to let maybe a cupful. And like I said, I can make quinoa burgers, I can make sausages, I can make quinoa balls, I can make spaghetti bolognese with quinoa, I can make a rice with quinoa, I can have a couscous with quinoa, I can have a salad quinoa. There's so much out of that kilo that I can make, it's amazing, and that's how I cook on a budget. And you can basically live off quinoa, you know, because it's so high in protein as well. That's why I get my protein, a lot of my protein is a vegan.
Very low in calories.
Very, very low in calories, absolutely.
But high in protein.
High in protein. Yeah, very beneficial.
Sorry,
I'll come to you. What were you asking?
Our avocado is very high in calories.
They're high in calories, but the way the body burns those calories are different to if you were eating a Mars bar. The fats are very beneficial to your body. Yeah, very beneficial to your body. You can eat an avocado a day. It's not going to add. There's different. You know, we had all these health warnings about avocado and unhealthy fats, but this is a healthy fat. It breaks down differently in the body. Margaret, you want to
No,
ask?
that's all right. No, it's answered my question. It's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my question's been answered. So, thank you.
I want to just quickly tell you about this tea, and I'm going to pass it around. I love it. It's got turmeric in it. When I had a bit of not inflammation, but mucus recently. I had some white bread. I didn't have a choice. I had to have white bread for my lunch, and it causes me to get a bit mucusy on my chest because I'm so used to now eating lots of alkaline foods, which are good and non-mucus forming, that when I start to eat anything unconventional, to what I normally eat, your body quickly tells you, which is great, and it will quickly expel anything that's not good as well. Somebody gave me cream and they forgot I was vegan, and I thought I was eating vegan cream, and immediately I was on the toilet. That's not a bad thing, and I actually vomited. That's not a bad thing because your body will reject those things. Turmeric has it's a super food. It's very good for eliminating mucus, getting rid of fevers, colds, when you're feeling very fatigued as well. And that is an organic tea. Pucker is something you can buy in your local Tesco's, I think, as well as the groceries. They're everywhere.
Would you
And they're
recommend that
organic.
brand? Would you recommend that brand?
I recommend this brand very highly, and you'll see a multitude of different types of. There's even star anise and cinnamon. That's the sort of anti-cancer type of superfood, cinnamon and star anise. And this as well, which is who's heard of hibiscus? That's hibiscus. You can have that as a tea. This is the dried leaves, which you can boil as well, or you can have it in a tea form. I would boil that, and I would let it cool, and I'd make a cordial out of it by adding agave syrup. This is hibiscus, dried hibiscus leaves. And I make a litre of cordial, not with a whole bag, just a few. It turns into a lovely, rich red colour. Let it cool, add agave syrup to it, bottle it in a glass bottle, always glass, and have it as you can drink it, your children can drink it. That is very good for anti-cancer. Very, very good indeed. Very good immune booster. Lots of nutrients as well. So rather than your processed sugary drinks, even expressed apple juices and expressed oranges have a high sugar content. Something like that is an excellent alternative.
These couple of teas, everyone I've seen, including this one, they have 20% green tea in them.
getting.
If you do drink
What, it's the same as caffeine?
green tea, is high in antioxidants, but it's also a diuretic, which means you lose a lot of, you wee a lot, so you're losing a lot of water. Well, if you're trying to lose weight, that's very good, but you're only using it for a time. There are things like, I'm a vegan, but I will take honey, and I will have honey if I'm ill. And it's a new honey that I have because it's got healing properties, but I'll only have it for that time. It's not something I'll prolong.
All these purple teas, you don't even have to like throw a crop, don't you?
Not really. It depends on what you, I mean, if you have there's chamomile, which is, that's very good to relax you. Fennel is a good relaxant. So it always becomes prescriptive as to when you learn about tea. Sorry.
Lots of people drink mint tea, say, after a meal.
Yeah, it's good for the digestive system. Yeah. And it's
It's
also
also stimulating, it could keep you awake.
but not at night. You wouldn't drink mint at night. And it's good for dental care, don't forget, and people drink it after maybe you have an onion in their food or a curry or something like that, something strong foods. The last thing we're going to do is, sweet potatoes are better than white potatoes, which cause them have a lot of starch. They're higher in nutrients. I've had these since, I buy a lot of sweet potatoes. I've probably had these about 3 weeks, and they're still very nice and fresh. They're organic. Organic food actually lasts longer than conventional, which rot very quickly. So when you're talking about too expensive, you're getting foods that will last a lot longer. We're going to do a short relaxation exercise. I want you to all pass these oils around, and I want you to smell the oils and decide which one you would like to just put a drop or two in your hand and smell the oil and breathe in the oil. Smell them all and decide which one you would like to just take a drop or two in your hand, rub together and just breathe in. Tagliatelle, or spelt tagliatelle. And I would make my own pesto. And how I do that, I would have a bunch of basil leaves, which I blend with a little bit of olive oil and a touch of Himalayan salt and a handful of sesame seeds to give it that paste, and mix it into your tagliatelle and have it with fresh green salad. Yeah. And you can also store that as well if you make up a big batch. And keep that instead of buying those expensive pastos that you get for like £2-3 a bottle. They're tiny.
I'm interested in your cooking classes.
Yeah.
Can you send information through that?
I can send information through about that. I'm in that setting as well. But if you have a look on the website, you get an idea. This is people who want to transition or start to eat healthy and learn about how to cook these foods and on a budget. I always do it on a budget.
So, what would the budget be? Can you give us a ballpark figure?
For an average meal?
No, for the week. If somebody is on a low income, could you give us an idea when you say budget, what would that be?
You could spend about, I'm used to spending up for 3. For me and my children, I could spend, for 1 week, I could spend £60. That's quite reasonable. Yeah. I can spend, because of how I prepare the foods, and you've got, being very innovative with how you use them as well. So if you've all chosen your oil and had a whiff of them, we're going to have a 5-minute relaxation exercise, and what you can do is use that oil. Close your eyes and relax and just enjoy the moment. I'm going to have an oil as well. My one's going to be grapefruit, which I also use as a deodorant actually in my mixture.
Did you say that lavender is good for hay fever?
It's good for hay fever. It's also good for eczema as well. I did a consultation for a lady.
Blockages run sort of here.
Yeah. I did a consultation for a lady who had a very, very angry bout of eczema, and I'm going to be mixing her some raw organic butters with lavender, which has helped my daughter. And I asked her the other day a silly question, because we always ask, how is your, illness? I said, how's your eczema? And she said, what eczema? So it's in a long time it's actually healed her. So right, we're going to start with this exercise now, and I'm just going to put this bird song on. It's about 5 minutes, and you're going to have complete silence for about 5 minutes, and you breathe in your oils, and you're going to relax. Bird songs that I play at night, or if I do get time to just have 5 minutes in the day, I'll play that, and that actually helps to just relax you for that moment. If you're going through a stressful period, it calms down the mind and the body. And I also incorporate it with an essence oil. Essence oils trigger different reactions in the brain. So you find what works for you that can actually help you to relax or overcome that stressful moment or period in your life. Anyway, thank you all very much for coming, and I hope this was of benefit to you.
It's very